Hi all. Today we are going to see about tongue. So introduction, tongue, it is a muscular organ situated in the floor of the mouth. The external features are it has a root, a tip and a body. The functions of tongue includes taste, speech, mastication and deglutition. So coming to root, it is attached to the mandible and soft palate above and hyoid bone below. These attachments prevent the swallowing of the tongue. In between the two bones, it is related to geniohyoid and mylohyoid muscle. So coming to tip of the tongue. The tip of the tongue forms the anterior free end which lies behind the upper incisor teeth here. Body, it has a dorsum surface and the ventral surface. Coming to dorsum surface, it is convex in all direction. It is divided into oral part here, pharyngeal part which is posterior one third and the posterior most part. So what is sulcus terminalis? It is a V-shaped sulcus that separates the oral and pharyngeal part. Here you can see this is sulcus terminalis. What is foramen cecum? So foramen cecum, there are two limbs of the V meet at the median pit. They run laterally and forward up to the palatoglossal arch. This is the foramen cecum. The foramen cecum represents the site from which the thyroid diverticulum grows down into the embryo. So inferior surface or lateral ventral surface. It is confined to the oral part only. Inferior surface is covered with smooth mucous membrane which shows mucous membrane called a lingual frenulum. On either side of the frenulum, there is a prominence produced by the deep lingual veins. This is deep lingual vein. More laterally, there is a fold called plica fimbricata. This is plica fimbricata that is directed forward and medially towards the tip of the tongue. So, oral and pharyngeal parts of the tongue differ in their development, topography, structure, and function. So, coming to oral part, the oral part. This is the oral part of the tongue. So, it is also known as the papillary part of the tongue. It lies in the floor of the mouth. It lies in front of the palatoglossal arches and the sulcus terminalis. This is what is called the sulcus terminalis. Its margins are free and in contact with the gums and teeth. So, this is the margins. Just in front of the palatoglossal arch, each margin shows 4 to 5 vertical folds named foliate papillae. So this is that 4 to 5 foliate papillae. Superior surface of the oral part shows a median furrow and is covered with papillae, which makes it rough. So coming to pharyngeal part, it is also called as the lymphoid part. This is the lymphoid part of the tongue. It lies behind the pharynx. It lies behind the palatoglossal arches and the sulcus terminalis. So this is sulcus terminalis. It lies behind the sulcus terminalis. Its margins are free and in contact. So its posterior surface forms the anterior wall of the oropharynx. The mucous membrane has no papillae but has many lymphoid follicles that collectively constitute the lingual tonsil. In this, the mucous glands are also present. So, this is the posterior most part of the tongue. It is connected to the epiglottis by three folds of mucous membrane. These are the median glossal epiglottic fold and the right and left lateral glossal epiglottic fold. So, this is median lateral and this is lateral. Median lateral. So on either side of the median fold, there is a depression called vellicula. So this is called the depression. This one depression is called the vellicula, and the lateral fold separates the vellicula from the piriform fossa. So coming to muscles of the tongue, the middle fibrous septum divides the tongue into right and left halves. So the tongues are divided into intrinsic muscles and extrinsic muscles. So intrinsic muscles we have four and extrinsic muscles we have four. Intrinsic muscles superior longitudinal, inferior longitudinal, transverse and vertical. Extrinsic muscles genioglossus, hyoglossus, styloglossus and palatoglossus. So intrinsic muscle, it occupies the upper part of the tongue. They are attached to submucous fibrous later and to the median fibrous septum. So this muscles alter the shape of the tongue. First, superior longitudinal muscle, it lies below the beneath the mucous membrane. So it lies beneath the mucous membrane. It shortens the tongue and makes it dorsum concave. Inferior longitudinal, it is a narrow band lying close to the inferior surface of the tongue between the styloglossus and the hyoglossus. It shortens the tongue and makes the dorsum convex. Transverse muscle. So this is the transverse muscle. It extends from the medium septum to the margins. It makes the tongue narrow and elongated. Vertical muscle. It is found at the borders of the anterior teeth of the arterial part of the tongue. It makes the tongue broad and flattened. Coming to extrinsic muscles, there are four extrinsic muscles. It connects the tongue to the mandible through genioglossus, hyoid bone through hyoglossus, styloid process through styloglossus here, and palate through the palatoglossus. This one. Coming to genioglossus. So this is what genioglossus. It is a fan-shaped muscle which forms the main bulk of the tongue. It arises from the upper genial tubercle of the mandible. From here, the fibers fan out and run backwards. The fibers are upper fibers, middle fibers, and lower fibers. So upper fibers get inserted into the tip. Middle fibers are inserted into the dorsum, lower fibers into the hyoid bone. So what is the action? The upper fibers retract the tip, middle fibers depresses the tongue, lower fibers pulls the posterior part of the tongue toward forwards and thus protrude the tongue from the mouth. Coming to hyoglossus. So this is what hyoglossus. It is an important landmark in the submandibular region. The origin is from whole length of the greater corona and lateral part of the body of the hyoid bone. Fibers run upwards and forwards. Insertion side of tongue between styloglossus and inferior longitudinal muscle of tongue. Nerve supply, it is supplied by hypoglossal nerve. What is the action? The action is it depresses the tongue, makes dorsum convex and retracts the protruded tongue. Coming to styloglossus. So this is the styloglossus. Origin, tip and adjacent part of the anterior surface of the styloid process as well as from the upper end of the stylohyoid ligament. The fibers pass downwards and forwards. Insertion into the side of the tongue here, intermingling with the fibers of the hyoglossal. The nerve supply will be hypoglossal nerve. What is the action? During swallowing, it pulls the tongue upwards and backwards. Coming to palatoglossus. So the origin, the oral surface of the palatine aponeurosis. This is palatoglossal. Fibers descends in the palatoglossal arch here. Insertion side of the tongue at the junction of oral and pharyngeal parts. Oral and pharyngeal parts. Okay. Nerve supply, cervical part of the accessory nerve. Action pulls up the roots of the tongue, approximate the palatoglossal arches, and thus closes the oropharyngeal isthmus. So what is the arterial supply of the tongue? So chiefly it is derived from the lingual artery. It is a branch of external carotid artery. Root of the tongue is also supplied by the tonsillar and ascending pharyngeal arteries. Venous drainage. Veins of the tongue are called vena comitants. The arrangement of vena comitants is variable. Two vena comitants accompany the lingual artery and one vena comitants occupy the hypoglossal nerve. The deep lingual vein is the largest and the principal vein of the tongue. It is visible on the inferior surface of the tongue as we have seen before. It runs backwards and crosses the genioglossus and the hyoglossus below the hypoglossal nerve. These veins unite at the posterior border of the hyoglossal to form lingual veins which ends either in the common facial vein or in the internal jugular vein. So coming to lymphatic drainage. So this is the lymphatic drainage of the tongue. So tip of the tongue, this one, tip of the tongue drains bilaterally to the submental lymph nodes here. Right and left half of the remaining part of the anterior two-thirds of the tongue drains unilaterally to the submandibular lymph nodes. Few central lymphatic drain bilaterally to the same nodes. The posterior one-third of the tongue drains bilaterally to the jugulo-homohyoid nodes. These are known as the lymph nodes of the tongue. So coming to nerve supply. The nerve supply in anterior two-third, here we have sensory nerve supply and taste. In anterior two-third, here you can see the sensory is through lingual nerve here. Lingual nerve, sensory, anterior two-third. So for posterior, it is glossopharyngeal nerve. For posterior, the sensory will be glossopharyngeal nerve. So posterior part of most part of the tongue, it is internal laryngeal branch of vagus. So posterior motor of tongue, vagus nerve. Coming to taste, anterior two-third, chorda tympani except velar papillae here. Chorda tympani taste. So for posterior one-third, glossopharyngeal including the velar papillae. For posterior one third, it is glossopharyngeal. The posterior most part or vallecula, internal laryngeal branch of vagus, same vagus nerve. So how is the development of epithelium? The lingual swellings of the first arch, tuberculum impair, which soon disappears. For the posterior one third, third arch, for the posterior most part or vallecula, it is fourth arch. Coming to histology, so the bulk of the muscle is made up of striated muscles. The mucous membrane consists of connective tissue lined by stratified squamous epithelium. So the oral part of dorsum is thin, forms papillae and is adherent to the muscles. Pharyngeal part of the dorsum is very rich in lymphoid follicles. Inferior surface is thin and smooth. Numerous glands, both mucous and serous, lies deep to the mucous membrane. Taste buds. There are most numerous on the sides of the valate papillae and on the walls of the surrounding sulci. There are numerous over foliate papillae and posterior one third of the tongue. It is sparsely distributed on the fungiform papillae, soft palate, epiglottis, and pharynx. No taste buds on the mid dorsal region of the oral part of the tongue. So what are the papillae of the tongue? Papillae are projections of the mucous membrane of the corium which gives the anterior two-thirds of the tongue its characteristic roughness. There are the following types: valate papillae or circumvallate papillae. So this is the valate papillae here. These are large in size, 1 to 2 millimeter in diameter and are 8 to 12 in number. They are situated immediately in front of the sulcus terminalis. This is sulcus terminalis. They are situated immediately in front. Each papilla or cylindrical projection surrounded by a circular sulcus. The walls of the papilla are raised above the surface. Fungiform papillae. So this is what fungiform papillae. This yellow color dots. They are numerous and they are found near the tip and margins of the tongue, but some of them are scattered on the dorsum. These are smaller than the valate papillae, but larger than the filiform papillae. Each papillae consists of narrow pedicle and a large rounded head. They are distinguished by their bright red color. Coming to filiform papillae, this is called the filiform papillae. It is a conical papillae. It covers the presulcal area of the dorsum of the tongue and gives its characteristic velvety appearance. They are the smallest and most numerous of the lingual papillae. Each are pointed and covered with keratin. The apex is often split into filamentous process. So the three papillae of the tongue are circumvallate papillae, fungiform papillae, and filiform papillae. So coming to the last part, the development of the tongue. The epithelium, anterior two-thirds from two lingual swellings and one tuberculum impair. So which arises from the first branchial arch. The tuberculum impair soon disappears, therefore supplied by the lingual nerve and chorda tympani. So posterior one third from cranial, a large part of the hypobranchial eminence, that is from the third arch, therefore supplied by the glossopharyngeal nerve. Posterior most part of the tongue from the fourth arch, therefore supplied by the vagus nerve. Muscles develop from the occipital myotomes, which are supplied by the hypoglossal nerve, and the connective tissue developed from the local mesenchyme. Thank you.